Hi everyone, it's just me again. If you saw my last video, you know that it was quite an emotional one, and I read you some letters and just some words that were exchanged between me and somebody who was once very close to me, and how kind of painful it was to go through that experience. But I also talked about purging terrible memories from your mind. And I've been further kind of advised to kind of even do more of a physical purge. So I'll talk more about all of the purging and the ways that I'm trying to release negativity from my life in many ways, not only in the hopes to kind of further and heighten my quest for curing my cancer, but just overall to have less toxicity, less people in my life who really just kind of come out of the gate and act like they are there for you and want to be your friends, but in the long run they really can't sustain that, and there's ulterior motives, or it is after all I've done for you kind of thing, and there's an expectation and a requirement that you are, I don't know, beholden to them in some ways. And for all that my family has gone through and my friends and the difficulty, I mean, as you can see after I did the last video, I've shed a lot of tears, and I don't even care that I don't look my best right now, because I think that after rereading some of that stuff, it is just kind of crucial that I do this step, I do this purge. So, and more importantly, I want to share it with some of you, because not that I think it's anything that any of you have done or would do, but if you do have people like this in your life who kind of do things that kind of make you stand back and say, wow, that was a gift that this person gave to me, but I don't quite understand its purpose or value. And there are people who just like to give, and it is for looking better themselves, but the gifts that they offer and the things that they do for you are just not really in line with what you're about. And I've also done that. I've given gifts to people, and there wasn't a lot of thought in it. On the flip side, I've given a lot of thought and really tried to give somebody a gift that is something that they mentioned 10 months ago and said, oh, I love that, and that's so cool, and I follow up and I go get it, and then they receive it, and they're just kind of like, oh, well, that's not really my color, or I'm not really into that. And I don't know. I guess my theory is no matter what gift you receive, whether it is the gift of time, the gift of a phone call, a physical gift, you should really take time and thank that person, whether it's for you or not, meaning whether it appeals to you or not. Just don't disregard that gift. I look at all these gifts that I received at the time, and I was thankful, but then on the other hand, in hindsight, I'm questioning again kind of their value. So a good example is a friend of mine created for me a vision board. And I don't know if you know anything about vision boards, but vision boards are kind of an exercise that each person should at one point in their life kind of go through, and it's very it's very valuable. It's really a tool for you to kind of get insight and come across and think of things that you always wish or thought you had done, but have kind of given up on, or think, oh, that's not really possible. So and I was gonna do vision boards with my friend, and it just didn't work out. So she created one for me, which is great in some regards, but how can you do that? How can you profess to know somebody so well that you know their vision? I mean, yes, there are people who are soulmates and are together and know each other intimately, but I still think as people, as individuals, there are things that sometimes we don't know or reveal. And it takes an exercise like this to get to the kind of the crux of it. So these are the vision boards that my friend created for me, and and I will just kind of, share piece by piece. This is the entirety of it. And then there's this one, which is a secondary. Number one, these are the most hideous vision boards I've ever seen in my life. I hate to be critical, but if you just look at some of these words, about face, be a superstar. Heroes can handle any situation and dare to be bold. Definitely the middle, the teal lips, speak out for hope, really rings true to me. Love and future so bright, you got it right. Do you believe in miracles? This side of it, absolutely. I see that that's the relevance, but I'm a superstar and, I'm a hero. These things, that's not my vision. I mean, whoops, my apologies, my camera, I got so excited, I knocked the camera over. That's not vision. That is someone's perception. So this is a very nice effort, but it's not my vision. It's not who I am. Part of me wants to just rip this because it's not me. So I will just fold it up and put it away. The second one is kind of equally an adjective, if you will, which is very flattering. I love that somebody says, I have great style, and I'm a mo better you, and I shine, and I have a new beginning, and that I'm sparkling and unique, and living proof. Living proof. Now that's a vision. That's something I will just remove and say, I want to be living proof. That no matter what a doctor tells you, no matter how bad your cancer can be, you can be living proof of a different outcome. And again, while this is all flattering and complimentary, it's not a vision board, and it's not mine. So there that one goes as well. Another thing I've been talking about a lot is cluttering. And there was kind of an incident quite some time ago, almost a year now, that really kind of stands out in my mind. And again, if you haven't seen the other video of the letters and the words that were exchanged, I will gladly share them with you. But this just came about, and as I'm continuing to purge and declutter, I was given this frame, and this frame says, specifically it says that through thick and thin. And in light of the letters that I read to you and the words that were said, obviously cancer can destroy friendships. Cancer can tear you apart. And so I've turned the picture around. But in what I'm doing to purge that ugly well, that part's gonna have to be cut out. What I'm doing to remove that ugliness, is to purge this picture and all, glass and all, and say, you know what? It doesn't matter. Whoops. Okay, so I'm continuing to purge. Purge the negativity, purge the things that no longer serve me. So there's some other things here. And this is very difficult for me. There was a joke with my old neighbors that I always forgot to water my plants and my flowers. And so every time I would plant something, it would die. And so it kind of became a joke that I should just have fake flowers because that was the only kind of flower I could keep alive. And there were some people who came to visit me, and they would have issue with the fact that I had fake flowers, because it's not trendy, it's not, hip, it's not current, it's not decor, but every little fake flower I have here is just a reminder to me that there's many things I'm not very good at. But when I see a little flower, it reminds me that there are a lot of things that I'm not good at, but that's okay. And I can do quirky things. I can have little trite trinkets that nobody understands but me. But when somebody comes into my home and makes commentary about it, it doesn't feel good. But these flowers are going to go in the purge box because I do think that it is time for me to say that I should give everything to everything, and I should, next time I plant a flower, not let it die and languish. I should plant a flower and foster it and nurture it. So this is the hardest thing for me to purge and throw away, but I'm going to do it. But I'm not ever going to do it so gently because fake flowers mean so much to me. And another thing is, when I was growing up, my mom had fake flowers everywhere, and it just reminds me of home in many ways. All right, so here's another interesting gift. I would love your commentary on this little thing. So, during my fight, and I apologize for the noise here because this thing is well put away. During my fight, there was a whole period in time when there was a little butterfly analogy. Butterflies, butterflies. So I received this butterfly, which is actually kind of gorgeous. It's got all those great colors, these blues and stuff. But this butterfly resides on this contraption. And it's first here. Let's see if I figure this out. And you can see the floppy butterfly. He just kind of lost his droop. But, so you put this butterfly in place, and then the sun and a battery makes the butterfly spin. It's very sweet. Again, very sweet, but really. And it's hard, because the intention is good, the thought is nice and sweet and all those things, but once again, this is just something that's got to go by. Okay, so I'm writing a book about all the things you can do for someone you love when they have cancer, and this is a hard one, because this is again, a little bit of good intention. Sorry, I'm just throwing meaningless things along in the pile. But, so I was given this mug. And as you can see, it's pink. I'm not sure how well you can see, but there is actually a ribbon on it. I've got weird lighting down here, but so there's a ribbon on it. This is breast cancer. And oftentimes when I tell people I have cancer, they look at me and they immediately drop to my chest and they say, oh, breast cancer. And not to discount anyone with breast cancer. It's a hard disease. And I know somebody who had stage 1 breast cancer and never expected to lose her life. I mean, it's treatable, it's manageable, right? But it's still cancer. And she was gone 2 years later. And Lisa and I were being honored with a benefit. And She didn't even make it to the benefit, and she was looking forward to it so much. And she had breast cancer, and I have peritoneal or ovarian, and my color is teal. And it doesn't mean that you can't wear and honor and support, but among the ranks of us people who have these very rare and very lethal cancers, to be grouped with something like breast cancer is, I hate to say it, but it feels dismissive. It really does. And I know that this was a gift that somebody wanted me to have. And it was kind of even, oh, it's breast cancer, but, you know, same. And it just kind of was telling to me that, once again, somebody doesn't understand. And these things shouldn't matter, but they do. They really do. And so through this video, I do hope that I give you some insights when you are talking to somebody. And one of the hardest things, and people say this all the time, is when you're diagnosed with cancer and someone tells you that, oh, you know, my grandma had cancer, or my cousin had cancer, or my friend or my colleague had cancer, and you're like, oh, yeah, so tell me about it. And the response is, well, they died. You know, that's an important story, but the delivery really needs to be, you know, she may have passed. I mean, she didn't get through it, but I'm sure that's not going to be the same for you. And I hope that doesn't happen for you. And, you know, just say things that make it about your life and not about people who didn't make it, because we know all of those stories and we fear it. And to hear that somebody you love, and even sometimes the way it's delivered, it's, oh, they died. I don't ever want to be spoken about like that. I don't ever want someone 10 years after I'm gone to say, oh yeah, you know, I knew this girl once. She had this really bad cancer, and man, you know, she gave it her all, but she died. And I guess maybe that's really where kind of the crux is about it for me, is that really honoring that person and the value that they had in your life. So when and if you do share a story about someone that you do know and love that had cancer, just tell us about them. Tell us what they learned, what you learned. Say, oh, you know, my cousin had cancer, but she didn't make it. But you know what? We really did everything we could for her. And no matter what, you know, she was upbeat, and she was hell-bent. And, you know, I even think about my own sister, Debbie, and when she was diagnosed, and she died. But when I think about my sister, she chose not to have a treatment. I don't think she believed that she only had 6 months to live, but it was exactly 6 months. I mean, to the day of the week even, she died. And I would never tell somebody newly diagnosed this story, but she died alone. She died in a gurney in the hallway of a hospital with nobody near her. And so, please, I just ask you from my heart, don't blend us with everybody else who has cancer, or anybody who you know who has cancer, because we are different, and we want to be different, and we want a different outcome. So when you just say, that's the same thing, it's the same cancer, no, it's not. There are 10,000 different kinds of cancer, and everything will respond differently, and everybody's chemistry will, you know, react differently. So it's not just the same cancer. And this belongs in the Purge pile with everything else. And I know somewhere in here there's another one. Yep, there it is. Hope. Pink. A hat. That's pink. Belongs in the Purge pile. Oh, there's so many things more to go through. And some of them, you know, again, are back to and specific to that individual person. Those letters that I read to you. And, you know, it is kind of difficult, you know, there's chaos with cancer and there's clutter with cancer, and to just do and, you know, give people things is not always the answer, and it just creates more clutter. So think about what you're giving somebody. Think about its value and use. I'm gonna have to move the camera, but, you know, because I'm kind of using one as a little prop here, and I hope it stays upright. But somebody had told me about these great little footy slippers that you could get at Target, Kmart, it doesn't really matter. And so I went out and I bought 4 pair, and I told this person, you know, I got 4 pair. I got, you know, one to keep by my bed. I got one to keep by the TV. I got one that I can keep downstairs or in the extra bedroom, because sometimes I find, excuse me, I find myself there. Sorry, I just get teared up and emotional still. So I had 4 pairs, and guess what? Somebody went and bought me another pair. So, again, fantastic that you listened, you heard, but once you go past 4 or 5 of something, you just don't need it. You just don't. Purge. And scarves. So, the scarves that a friend pulled together a hat and scarf party for me when I was newly diagnosed and was losing my hair. And I thought, wow, what a fantastic idea. And I got hats of all kinds and scarves of all kinds, and I still have them to this day. And even though I'm on a treatment where I'm not losing my hair, I can't get rid of them because they mean so much to me. So much to me. And, but along the way, and after my hair was growing back, I started getting more scarves. But these were just kind of cast-offs. So I got this scarf, which is silk, which neither stays on a head with hair, let alone a bald head. It is not wide enough to actually cover an entire head. And I suppose, yes, I could use it just to pull my hair back, but it just added more. And I would even kind of lament, you know, like, oh my gosh, I've got so many scarves and hats that I don't even wear already. You know, I don't want to give them away, but I hate that they're in the closet. You know, I'm possibly going back into treatment and will lose my hair again. So it's good that I haven't relinquished them so far, because there are just some beauties in there that I would never, ever want to give away. But then there's things like these that just kept coming more and more. So I'm hoping this is the last time I'll go through treatment that I lose my hair. But I'm so excited to pull out all the scarves and the wigs and the hats that I was given in that very, very special, very, very special event that you held for me, Cindy. Thank you so much. And, you know, I wish I could name everybody who helped and participated, but Cinnamon and Lori and Lizzie and Kathy and Rob and Tony sent me the beautiful hat from Nordstrom's all the way from Tampa. And I know I'm going to forget a name, and I hate to do that. And Doreen, she made me this beautiful scarf and hat, you know, out of this brilliant red yarn with yellow contrast. That was fantastic. So there were so many people there, and so to have people who couldn't participate kind of after the fact say, oh, you know, as they're pulling stuff out of their own closet, I don't like this, I don't like that, you know, this, you should take this. You know, and I got a lot more cast-offs like that, like this thing, this cougarish, I don't know, I guess you actually wear that around your neck or something, but, you know, with everything I have, to receive more and more and more, just, it got to the point where I just had to say stop. I I have no room for any more of these things. I can't take anymore. And I thank you, but it's too much. So some of these things actually will be donated, and the other hats and scarves that, like I said, I hope is my last time to ever need them, will be donated to the Cancer Center. And I'll probably send a little note with them and say who gave it to me, and put a little picture, because I took pictures of all of them, and, you know, send it along with it, and add a little good wish to the person who gets it and wears it through their cancer journey, that hopefully it helps them heal as much as it did for me. You know, another cast off is, you know, when you're going through cancer and people say, you know, and they give you something like this, and it's like, oh, it's a just do it, it doesn't fit me, you know, it's a little faded. More stuff in the purge pile. That doesn't feel like a gift. So just don't do it. You know, donate it to Goodwill, repurpose it, you know, cut out the Nike, put it in a plaque, something else to kind of, to make the message resonate. Okay, so I know that I'm blending things that were given with good intentions, things that were given to me by this person who really showed their true colors, as I went through cancer. And I think the rest of them all kind of fall into that category. So if you want to turn off this video now, because you've gotten what you need to know from the message, that's perfectly fine with me. Because the rest are really just about and for purging one particular person out of my life. So thank you. I'm going to be doing more videos, sharing with you and through my writing, but also through my presence. And I hope you tune in often. Okay, here come the tears again. There's probably going to be some more crying because of the hurt and the betrayal. And, you know, essentially what happened in this situation is a good friend let me down, lied about it, posted on Facebook that she was doing something else fun, just couldn't, you know, reveal and say, hey, you know what, I couldn't do it. I can't be there for you anymore. And just tell me what you're going through. Tell me, you know what, I just need to step back because it's too intense. I've had other friends do that to me. I've had them tell me, you know, it's just too hard. It's just too hard for me to see you suffering. I need a break. I just need to step away. And you know what? Some of them have stepped away and come back. Some of them have stepped away and haven't come back. And we'll see what happens eventually, you know, if we reconnect or what we end up doing. But, you know, I think there's honestly something off with a person who just can't say, look, I need to not be immersed in this. And I'm sorry that I'm letting you down, but I just need separation. So, when someone who's known you for 30 years doesn't even know how to spell or what your nickname really is, purge it. When you get a dog bed that's been used, that was used by other dogs. I mean, somebody who knows dogs knows other dogs aren't going to sleep in the bed of somebody else. So I have all these dog beds that just really had no purpose. I do love Chihuahuas. That's a fact. But I also was really at a point where I can only have so much Chihuahua stuff in my house. My friend April and I, she loves pigs. She's got pigs everywhere. I love pigs. I have pigs everywhere. You know, but when you go to someone's house and you see that it's just becoming oversaturated and it's cluttered, and when you yourself say to that person, wow, you got so much crap. You have crap. And then that person gives you more crap. Purge it. I remember telling everybody, I don't need any more clothes, I don't need any more shoes, I don't need any more jewelry. I can't even figure out, nor do I even go any place where I wear what I already have. I'm not ready to get rid of it because I don't know, there's things in there that I love and haven't even worn, but I still got more. I still got more jewelry and more clothes and more shoes from this one particular person, even though I said no more, no more, no more, no more. One of them was this lovely ring holder for jewelry. So, all right, you're overflowing in jewelry. Let me give you more crap to keep your jewelry. I couldn't even sell it in my garage sale for 10 cents because it's crap. Purge. A game. Purge. We played it once. Oh, it's yours, you know, enjoy it, you know. I don't have time for those things. I wish I did. I wish that I had nothing else. Or rather, I guess I should say, I wish I didn't have only cancer to focus on. But it takes every living moment. It takes all your time and energy. It takes all your breath. That is what I need to focus on. I wish I had time for games. I wish I had times for fashion and, you know, going through my jewelry drawer every now and then. But, you know, especially when you said to me, it's your crap and it's nobody else's responsibility but yours to get rid of that crap. That's why I'm purging. And that's why I'm purging all this crap that I was told I have everywhere. So, all this crap, all the purses. Don't give somebody a purse that's like torn apart just because it doesn't fit you anymore either. Don't give me your husband's crap. I cannot wait to shut that box of crap. And I don't know yet what to do with it. It's either going to be burned, it's going to go to the dumpster, but even that just doesn't feel like, even to put it away and put it on the curb doesn't feel like a true cathartic purge. So I'm going to be making sure that that crap goes back to where it came from. Because if it is only my responsibility to take care of that crap, I'm going to send the crap back. I think you know what I'm going to do. Thank you. Thank you for listening. This isn't my favorite video. This feels like ugliness. This is not who I am as a person. But I honestly have to say, when I take this entire box of crap and not only purge it from my home, my new home, our sanctuary, our home that is such a perfect fit, although lots of boxes still need to be emptied. When this box goes out of this home and out of my sight and out of my possession, it is not only purging the possession, but it's purging that person. And I hope all of you do that for yourselves. Whomever that person is, whatever that thought is, whatever that thing stuck inside of you is, purge it. Because if it's blocking you in any way, just purge it. I promise you, you will feel so much better. Love to you all. See you in my next video.